Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jay and today I'm at home making a vegan pasta Alfredo. Oh, it's gluten-free too, I think. Okay, so for this recipe, these are all the things you're going to need. Of course, there's always optional. So the zucchini is optional. I actually had it left over, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. I've made this with spinach, broccoli, and it still tastes great. Onion also optional. Now, if you don't use the onion, in my opinion, the garlic, it's gonna be very garlicky. If you're not a huge fan of garlic taste, I would even cut down to 2 cloves. But to me, the onion helps cut the garlic taste so much. But besides that, olive oil, flour, butter, milk, and then I mentioned gluten-free. So brown rice is a good substitute, in my opinion, for a gluten-free noodle that still tastes and has that texture that you like of noodles. Another noodle I like is edamame noodles. They are soy, but gluten-free, and they still have a nice texture that won't make you feel like you're eating not a regular noodle. For flour, if you were going to substitute regular flour, I'd probably do oat flour, only because you want something that's going to kind of suck up some moisture. And to me, oat flour is a good substitute. So we're going to go ahead and chop all this up and then put it in a pan. All right, so everything's chopped up here. What I forgot to mention, I used about 3 slices of the onion. If you're going to make a smaller pot, of course, use less. Or if you're not an onion person, use less. Also, I said that's everything you need, but of course you need your seasoning. So just your usual Italian seasonings that I'll show you through this. But let's put it all in a pot now. So we're going to start with about 2 to 3 or so tablespoons of butter. Quite a little bit of butter. And let it melt down. All right, and then you're gonna go ahead and add your onion and garlic. You're just gonna go ahead and caramelize, saute them a little bit. A little browning, not much. I'd say about 2 to 3 minutes of bubbling. And of course, if you want, add your dash of salt to get those juices flowing. Also, my water is on for my noodles. If you're using regular noodles, I'd say do that first, or put those in the pot already. But since we're using the brown rice ones, they tend to cook a little faster. So I usually put those in once my sauce is just kind of simmering. If you want to add some peppers in here, that's fine. It just can get a little sweet. All right, so it's been a couple minutes and we're gonna go ahead and add our flour. Something else I realized I don't have for this recipe is, I have it, but the vegetable broth you also need for this recipe. You don't have to have it. All right, she's mocking me. You don't have to have it, but if you do have it, use it. If you don't, I promise you it tastes good. So flour, I usually sprinkle a little in. You know me and my measurements. Then stir it around. So how I know it's enough flour is once it becomes thick. So see how it still has some liquid to it? I feel like the more flour you use, the thicker, the better for it to take up that almond milk. Since it's not as thick as dairy milk, I feel like it needs that little extra bit of help. So almost clumpy, I guess you could say. Like here almost, I'd add just a tad bit more flour, just a little bit. Okay, that's it. That's all. Okay, and optional, if you want to go ahead add your seasonings now, that's fine. I'll show you. I do it depending on how I feel. Alright, that's a little better. You can still add a little bit more if you want to, but I'm going to stop there. And we're going to add our almond milk. I'd say depending on how many you're serving, because this was going to give you your juices, I put about, so you can see the 2-cup line there, a little bit over 2 cups. So what I'm about to fill with the veggie broth, did I shake this? Is what you would fill with milk if you don't have veggie broth. Another substitute is like a veggie, what do they call it? Like chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, veggie bouillon, I guess. Is that what it's called? Vegetable bouillon? I've also put that in here instead. What is that supposed to be? Like 3 cups. So 3 cups altogether. So either 3 cups of milk or 2 cups milk and 1 cup veggie broth. Important step, a whisk or a fork, really hard, but you want to get those clumps of flour to break up. All right, and again, if you're feeding more, add more liquid, that's all. Just try and stay even with your milk and veggie broth. I really shouldn't be scraping this like this, but and we're gonna add our seasonings. So of course, to keep it simple, you have Italian seasoning, as much as you desire, rosemary, for benefits, of course, great benefits of rosemary, and flavor, oregano. A lot of these seasonings, I don't know if Aldi is everywhere, but I got them from Aldi. Great price for organic seasonings. Thyme, if you like, a pinch. Again, benefits, great benefits. If you have fresh parsley, fresh basil, go ahead and add that. I have it in a jar. That was basil and parsley. Ooh, a little more than I wanted, but it's gonna be good. And pepper, fair amount of pepper. Just because I like peppery Alfredo. Again, season everything to your liking, to your taste buds, to how you like things. That's another bonus of cooking at home. A little bit of turmeric, of course, and everything. All right. You can go ahead and mix it with a spoon or the whisk. And now this is going to come to a boil, and you want to just stir it often. It's just like making regular Alfredo without the cheese, honestly. But just stir it often, because it's gonna kind of stick a little bit. And watch it. Now, because it's not cheesy, it's not gonna be as sticky saucy as I guess your normal Alfredo would be. So again, if you like a saucy Alfredo, I would recommend making a decent amount of sauce. Sorry, I just thought about it. I'm gonna eat some of this tomorrow for lunch, so I'm gonna make a little extra. And again, just add some more almond milk and more veggie broth. All right. And you let that boil up and watch the magic happen. And while your sauce is boiling on medium-high heat, Go ahead, put your noodles in. So they're not so long, I guess. This bag of noodles is what, 12 ounces? We'll finish this most likely tonight with a little left over for me for lunch tomorrow, or for me and Sage. So to your liking, I always would recommend salting your noodles. That way you don't have to add too much salt into your, what do you call that thing? Your dish, which I didn't add much besides what I used to salt the, what do you call that thing? The garlic and onions. So at the end, if you want to add more salt, or if you're a person that likes salt, go ahead and add your salt to your sauce. But again, we try and cut back. Another trick to eczema, they say. And a dash of olive oil, just so they don't get too sticky. All right. And for the gluten-free, I honestly like 10 minutes or so and they'll be done. You'll know. Be careful. They soak up a lot of water, so they can easily get overcooked. But what I like about these is they can easily get overcooked, but they're easier to cook to me than regular noodles. Like, you can tell when they're done. All right, and we wait. So while we wait, excuse my hair. I just want to say this recipe to me is a very good alternative to a regular Alfredo pasta. If you're trying to dairy-free, gluten-free, cut back on something, I like it. Now, I also want to say that when you're transitioning into becoming vegan, or even just alternatives in cutting back some things, you definitely cannot go in it with the mindset of everything. You want everything to taste like what you're used to. If you go in with that mindset, you're going to be disappointed with everything you taste. Now, there are some vegan things that are just nothing close to it. But my recipes, I try and make everything close to the, you know, the one with dairy or the one with meat or whatever the case may be. But I also go in a mindset of it's just a good alternative. It just tastes good. For something that's not what I'm used to, it tastes good for what it is. So I feel like that's a big part of becoming vegan. And I feel like a lot of advertisement things for vegan try to come off as it's going to taste like the real deal. And I'm yet to find anything that tastes like the real deal. So again, just go in with an open mind of it tastes delicious regardless, you know. But okay. Let's plate this stuff. Also, if you do choose to do zucchini, I would saute it in a pan separately and then just throw it in there. Or broccoli is the same thing. I would boil it or steam it separately in a pan and then put it in there. Broccoli you can put in there, but I feel like broccoli can take over all the flavor. It's not a bad thing, but if you don't want that to happen, then do it separately. Just add at the end, especially spinach. I would do that after it's all said and done and just mix it in there, and it'll wilt from the, from the heat. So I'm going to go ahead and saute this so it's ready. So as you can see, the sauce has thickened up. And again, you always want to keep stirring. It's getting pretty thick. So now's the time. Again, something optional is nutritional yeast, if you want to add some. Apparently, if you're looking for that very cheesy flavor, this is how to get it. In my opinion, it gives it a flavor. I don't know if it's necessarily that cheesy though. And I've turned it down just a little bit. It's like a medium low now. Alright. And just like any other Alfredo sauce, I would leave it on just for a little bit longer, but you can always stop it a little early. Like, it's still going to be a little watery because as it sits, it thickens. And back there are the zucchini. You can tell. Now, if you seem like it's been on forever and you are having no success for whatever reason, you can always take some hot water and flour in a cup, whisk it around, and pour it in there. Or cheat and just put the flour in there and whisk it up again. Just to go ahead and make it thicker faster is all that does. Or if you did like me and made some and then you realized you want to make a little more, so you added more milk or more vegetable broth, then yes, do the flour, and that will help again just to thicken it up. But we're going to go ahead and add the zucchini and plate. All right, so again, you let this cool down. It's going to thicken up a little more, but as you can see, it's thicker. We're getting there. But for the sake of being able to finish this video, I'm going to go ahead and plate it just like this. And there you have it, easy vegan Alfredo with zucchini. And I actually used a leftover bun I had from making really easy black bean burgers that I'll give the recipe to. And this is just some really easy, quick garlic bread. And there you have it. I hope this was an easy and affordable recipe for you. I really like this one because it doesn't involve cashews, cauliflower, a blender. It's a very easy, quick, after work, need to get something done, dinner that takes no time at all. But besides that, I hope to see you guys in my next video.